Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TRS Live with your hosts Brian Keller, Matt Schratz, and Zach Hoffman, presented by The Real Shot.
I'ma do this here forever. EQ. Forever. Triune. Forever. Yeah. Forever. I'ma do this here forever. All you haters better get comfy. This the day you've been waiting on. Your road is finna get bumpy. This the track I'm making my statement on. I ain't going nowhere. This the place that I'm making home. I'll do this shit forever. Hit the gas and I'm taking off. Ow. I was born with passion. My job is never ending and my hustle's everlasting. No matter what, I'm gon' ball, even with my back to the wall. And the best part is that this is the beginning. I'ma do this here forever. Forever.
Keep standing.
Should I? There we go. I got my chair fixed.
Today is our Tuesday nooner. We're doing a nooner today.
A nooner with Steve?
A nooner with Steve.
Who's got their audio on?
That was me. I have my audio on.
Steve's audio is too loud, and Brian and I think we're too quiet. But, well, good. Are we afternoon? Yeah, we're
it is afternoon.
Hey,
it's
good
like
afternoon,
12:05.
everybody. We are going to continue the Whitetail Catalog today, and last but not least, probably the best for a lot of people here, we're talking firearms.
Firearms.
America. So we're going to talk about all the things that are cool again in the Whitetail Catalog. So if those who haven't joined us in any of these
Do we have to make a disclaimer
segments,
that all these guns are unloaded?
Yes, Steve. I was going to let Steve.
We should
do that.
mention
okay.
something. Yeah,
He said we're hanging loose.
well, because of the close proximity and all the guns in here. On occasion, somebody's going to get swept by a muzzle, and that's not cool under most circumstances.
Agreed.
But it's almost unavoidable. Everything is as unloaded as it could possibly be.
Yep. I actually scooted this way a little bit more.
That was bothering me
And
as much as it was you.
it turned this one just a little bit more to this direction. So, so if you haven't checked out episode 44 and 45,
Yep.
make sure to do that one. Those are the first and second editions of the Whitetail Catalog. We broke down everything from scent control, trail cameras, vertical bows, crossbows, and now, like I said, we're finishing with the long gun and the handgun and all firearms and optics and all that other cool stuff. So thank you, Steve. We know you're a busy man. You're out there working your tail off today already, selling guns and buying guns. And
What'd you sell? You sold one right before coming in here, like minutes before. What'd you sell?
I sold a couple. I sold a gentleman came in looking for a youth rifle for his kids. I moved him into, actually, I think we got one back here, the Savage 110 Apex package, which is really nice because it's an adult-sized gun with a spacer in the stock, so we can shorten it up and make it suitable for
really?
youngsters.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
is this
awesome.
the one?
And as you can see here, we also happen to carry it in the left hand.
yes.
So yeah, instead of a youth gun, I put him into an adult-sized gun that can be adapted to
I
youngsters.
love that.
That's
awesome.
a great idea.
Yep, he was very, very
Well,
happy with it.
Let's talk about it.
Then a gentleman came in looking to pick up a target rifle, and I didn't have it in stock, but could get it for him. Got it ordered, and it'll be here before the end of the week.
Awesome.
So go a little bit more on the Savage, because this one is in the Whitetail Catalog. I know Zach's going to get it shared in the comments here, so those who hasn't seen it yet. And now, just to answer some questions before we get into the gun, we do have hard copy or soft copies available of this. So if you're interested in getting one, I got a couple messages saying, is it available? Sure is. We can get you one sent out. We're not sure if we're ever going to start mailing it
I don't
nonstop.
know. We'll see.
But if people continue to want it, otherwise it's downloadable and you can go right on the website and flip through it. So, like I said, we're into the gun portion, and Steve just started mentioning how you helped the customer out with this Savage 110 and the adjustability of it also. Go ahead and just kind of run us through besides that, the other values of this rifle here.
Well, first, Savage makes a number of different levels of rifle. The Axis is one they're pretty well known for. They got kind of flimsy stocks. There's a place in the market for guns at all price points. I like this 110. It's a more open action. It's a real solid action. It's the gun that really puts Savage on the map as far as accuracy goes. It's a it's a definite step up from the Axis without being an incredible step up money-wise. They came out with this Apex package this year that I just absolutely love, which includes that built-in adjustability to the stock. There's a spacer back here. I'm going to say that's about an inch. Couple minutes with a Phillips head screwdriver, take the recoil pad off. Beautiful, very, very cushy recoil pad, by the way. Take that off, pull that spacer out, put the recoil pad back on. Now we've got a gun with a length of pull that would be appropriate for children, ladies, smaller statured adults.
Multiple different?
No, there's just going to be one piece.
Oh, I mean, do they have different ones, though? Is there a half inch, or are they all just...
I haven't seen it, but that's a good question. I should look into that, yeah. This comes with this particular package that I like, comes with a Vortex Crossfire 2 scope. You know, we all know about the Vortex quality, the Vortex warranty. Being here in Wisconsin, we have an extra special
What is the warranty?
Warranty on Vortex is really simple. Unless you intentionally damage the scope or lose it altogether, they will repair it or replace it forever, no questions asked.
Original owner? Or?
No, you don't have to be the original owner. You don't have to have proof of purchase. You can find one broken in a ditch and send it back to Vortex, and they will replace it or repair it forever.
Well, that's fantastic.
Well, yeah, and you're going to have a hard time finding one because somebody else has probably raced you to it already.
Right. They have replaced scopes that were damaged in house fires and car accidents. They don't care, and they're very, very proud of that, too. They should be. They've got the rest of the optics companies out there reacting to them instead of...
Right, for sure.
I want to go down and tour that place. I bet you that place is phenomenal.
It would be awesome to go see that.
It's only, what, just a little bit outside of Madison, right?
Baraboo now.
Oh, it's in Baraboo.
Yep. I'm 95%
we should do
confident
that.
that it's...
Road trip.
Yeah, we're going to... I want to go. I mean, that's so awesome that we got...
And then there's the Circus Museum, and, you know...
Drop Zach off.
That's an everyday thing for Matt. Lives there.
But, I mean, just for a high-end optics company to be right in our backyard for the most part, I mean, that's phenomenal. Yeah. And they are trending. I mean, if there's ever a company in the market that's trending, Vortex is one of those companies.
Oh, my God, yeah. It's crazy. Anyway, they have teamed up with a number of companies to do packages, and... this one from Savage, I just really like. I've seen way too many packages from the factories over the years that include lowest bidder scopes. And it's just a heartache waiting to happen. You take it to the range, you get it sighted in, you take it out in the woods, and it fogs up, the adjustment breaks, the crosshairs break. I have always hated factory scope package rifles. Then the trend started to go uphill. We're going to use a little bit better quality scope, and it's not just Vortex. Vortex seems to be the big leader in that right now.
Yep.
More companies using Vortex on their factory package scopes than any other company.
So, and that's cool because that's a BDC scope that's in there, right?
It's a BDC reticle. Yep.
I just see that it's on their website. And is it really this gun retail? We got it for on their website it's more expensive. We got it for $560, $569.99.
$569.99, yeah.
That's an amazing deal on it.
Well, yeah, we got pretty sharp with our pencils.
Can you explain the AccuTrigger to me and for anybody else that doesn't understand? What are the benefits, especially just for deer hunting, of why you'd want a second? How would you call that, a 2-tier trigger?
Yeah, it's got a built-in passive safety device. Problem for several decades, the U.S. rifle manufacturers were haunted by their liability attorneys. You couldn't get a decent factory trigger in a rifle at any kind of decent cost. Savage was particularly well known for having very, very you couldn't depend on the consistency. You could have a really, really light, crisp trigger, pull 3 out of 4 shots, and then all of a sudden it'd get heavier. It was more noticeable to people with a little bit more experience with firearms and trigger quality, but nonetheless, they had issues with their trigger. They came up with this design. It's got a passive safety built in, and it essentially works not unlike the Glock trigger. There's a small, lightweight, spring-loaded flapper set in the middle of the trigger, and you have to depress that before the trigger can be activated. Because it's spring-loaded, because it's so lightweight, what that means is you can fully load this rifle, disengage the safety, and slam it against the ground, and you are not going to get enough inertia on that inside trigger to cause it to overcome the spring pressure and to fire the gun. So it is safe. It's adjustable down to 2.5 pounds. They come from the factory, usually set right around 3 pounds. Nice crisp trigger.
What about for like people that have
That's awesome
target
for kids, by the way.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about youth adjustable. That's awesome.
Can that work to your benefit if you have like target panic as well? If you're anticipating the flinch, is that going to help eliminate that a little bit?
Target panic's got a little bit. I've never really heard it used in conjunction with rifle shooting so much, but it's the flinch.
The flinch, yeah, that's
else.
what I mean.
No, it's going to give you a better trigger control. You can focus a little bit more on your sight picture than you do on the trigger pull, trying to get it to go. Come on! Oh my God, what's taking so long?
Right.
You've got better trigger control, which allows you to have just better control over your entire shooting performance.
Okay. And I didn't realize either that it's adjustable. That's pretty nice.
It's funny. It comes with a little. I think there's still a yellow wrench, little tiny thing in the box, and I don't know how many people have ever even bothered to take them
most
out.
of them probably get thrown out.
Right.
The triggers are set so nicely from the manufacturer that most people never really need to adjust them.
Right. Well, I think for the average guy, they don't know the difference between 2.5 pounds or 2.4 pounds and 3 pounds of trigger pull. Like, you're right. Like, I would never know.
So what's the best way to figure out like your proper trigger pull? Obviously go to the range or can you dry fire that trigger enough to find out?
You can dry fire it, figure out what you like. Some people are more sensitive to a perfectly set trigger than others. I can generally get by with whatever trigger the factory put in, mostly because I'm not that damn good a shot anyway. And I need an excuse. Trigger sucks. But seriously, most people are never going to want to adjust that. Most people will never need to adjust that. The fact that they include it on all their rifles just tells you, not all their rifles, on their higher end stuff, you can still get the Axis, some of their cheaper stuff without the AccuTrigger on it. But it tells you the company's committed to putting out the best product they can.
Right. Huh. What's your furthest shot you've ever made on a deer?
Not that far. 150 yards.
On a run?
As a matter of fact, it was. And it was with a shotgun. It was a buck running across a field, and it was running hard on 3 legs. It had previously been wounded. I would never have attempted that shot, except he was already hurt. So I just, put the crosshairs butt on his nose and pulled the trigger, and he piled up. Like, no witnesses, right?
Right.
All right.
So when I grew up hunting, though, we hunted down open field country in southern Wisconsin. Every deer I ever shot until I was about 20 was running.
Right.
I never took a standing shot at a deer ever. It was like jump shooting rabbits.
Really?
Oh yeah. Everything was either drives, which they're obviously running, or even when we sat in the morning, they were always getting pushed. So the deer were always on the move because we were down by Pickett. It was all open fields.
Yeah.
The deer went from one woodlot to the next woodlot through these ditches and stuff. And I never shot a deer standing still until I was probably like 25. And I started hunting when I was 12.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Until seriously, I never shot a deer that wasn't moving.
So what's your furthest shot on a deer?
320.
On the run?
Nope, standing. And I have that on film so I can prove it.
Really?
Yeah, it's on YouTube somewhere. Yep. Standing still.
It just goes to show you, it depends on how a person, what circumstances a person grows up hunting under.
Right.
I grew up hunting pretty heavy woods in Wapaka County. We had to use shotguns.
Right.
We set our stands up so we couldn't shoot over 50, 60 yards.
See, it was shotgun back then when I was down there, and we was open sights. I mean, it was bad. I mean, it wasn't what you'd want in the ideal whitetail ethical hunting situation. Let's just leave it at that. But that's what it was. It was open sights.
Yep.
I mean, I remember when the Sabbath slug was just coming out, and it was like, oh my God, you can actually kind of pattern a shotgun.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a thing, you know what I mean? It was smooth barrels, 3-inch Magnum slugs, and he just started spraying lead.
Just throw lead.
The game's changed a lot since then.
It has.
How far is your holdover? Oh, I don't know. It's about
you're
top of the tree
12
line.
inches up. You're taking one shot and you're seeing where to hit the dirt and to take the next one. It was not optimal. But I do tell you what, though, now growing up like that to now hunting in the woods,
yeah,
I am so much quicker getting on deer because of that moving on deer now, and deer comes trotting, it feels like they're in slow motion now. It's not a hard shot for me, just because growing up, everything was full tilt all the time.
Well, it's hard to find animals in the scope in a panic rush. I mean, if you're not used to it, you forget you got your scope dialed all the way up for some people.
See, and I always leave mine at like 5.
Right.
You know, you mentioned something though. It gives one pause. You talk about.
I give a lot of people pause.
Getting better over the years simply through repetition and all the experience you've had. Most people, it's funny. How much do you shoot your bow before the deer season?
On a normal year, quite a bit.
A normal
this
year,
not,
and you use the same
enough.
thing. You spend a lot of time shooting that bow. How much time do you spend shooting your rifle?
The day before.
I was going to say about 2 weeks before when I go to the range for about 45 minutes.
The average guy takes the rifle to the range, verifies 0, never practices shooting offhand, never practices from field expedient positions. I don't know why that is. We want to practice our butts off with our bows, but when it comes to the firearms, we kind of slack off.
Is it cost? It's cost of the ammunition versus my reusable arrow?
I don't know. I see what people are spending on arrows these days. And ammo's cheap.
I feel like most people are just under the conception that you point the gun, if it's sighted in, you just point it and it's gonna hit it. That's just, I feel like that's how people feel.
Yeah,
could be. I don't know.
You know, the young man just told us he got better as the years went by.
I did.
And it's the same for all of us.
The trick to the open field deer hunting, for anybody who's listening, is it's the third jump. So they always. I'm serious. That's what
Okay,
I got.
nice.
If you've ever watched a deer, I used to watch deer run like religiously. It's just how we got good at it. But they always, the first bound, second bound are real short and fast. The third one's always really tall and elongated. So they'd always wait. They kind of float on the third bound when they jump.
You're right.
If you watch one,
I can actually picture it. Yeah, you're right.
If you watch one, it's boom, boom, and then they kind of float on the third one. So we used to always wait. We'd wait for that third one. That's
how long did it take you guys to figure that out?
So you know how the truly big bucks are going to evolve is they're going to go to like the fourth jump.
Right. Well, I honestly, I don't. I mean, we hunt in the woods now, so I haven't shot a running deer in years. I mean, 5-6 years. I haven't shot a deer on the move. But I mean, I remember how to do it. I'm pretty sure if it came down to me starving or that, I could figure it out again real quick.
You could get back on one and
real quick.
hammer down. Yeah.
We used to shoot a lot of deer on drives. That's just what you did. I mean,
right. It's a different game. We're not advocating that you shoot deer on the run.
No,
but
it's fun.
Sometimes they just don't stop.
Oh, but it just depends where you hunt, though. No, but it's where you hunt. You can't expect a guy not to shoot a deer on the run if he hunts in open farmland. A deer during gun season, you might maybe opening morning might walk across that farm field getting from that one woodlot to your fence line or whatever.
Yeah.
He gets shot at once. It's not walking anymore. It's going to do one of two things. It's going to have its tail down. It's going to be at full tilt, or it's not moving until it's dark. That's why you got to drive them, because they're not moving. That's just the way it is.
Well, and I think that's what's going on to a lot of people right now. Like, you hear a lot more people saying there's not many deer, so on and so forth.
I think the hunters have gotten lazy.
They're not driving.
I mean,
I wouldn't call it lazy. I think
I think lazy works.
Up in the woods where I hunt, I couldn't
smart.
see a drive, and there'd be no point in driving. The deer have way too many escape routes. But even now, if I go on a drive, like a physical drive, just to go look at whatever, there's nobody driving field swamp or swamps, ditches.
Yeah, not as much.
All that little stuff. There's not as many people out there doing that.
Well, I think more and more people are into like the management practices now that they're trying to keep deer on their property instead of pushing them off their property.
Could be that too, for sure. Absolutely.
Yep. As properties have gotten smaller.
Yep.
I think there's a lot more.
And I think there's a lot of accessibility to property. Like when I was a kid, we used to have farmlands from this farmer and this farmer and this farmer. We just walk in the whole county, basically.
Yep.
You can't, this guy's grandson hunts now or whatever.
Yep.
The access to all those ditches and stuff isn't as really available.
I have hunted a lot of properties in the last 20 years where I managed to find permission to hunt here, hunt there. Where I could literally sit in the middle and I could see the property line from in woods.
Yep.
I was hunting 3 and 4 acre parcels.
Yes.
It's again the days when you could go and knock on someone's door and say, "Can I?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead."
Right.
I think
it goes back to what you said with the manufacturers all worried about the liability. I think that's hit everybody.
Oh, sure.
Everybody's worried about what if this guy's on my farm and something happens to him. So they just say, "Screw it." They're just not going to let it do it.
And there's also the economics involved. farmers realize they can help pay those property taxes big time through leases.
You can't blame them.
Absolutely. Oh,
No,
yeah.
can't blame them. Not at all.
Right.
Well,
I do miss it a little bit. It was fun back in the day.
yeah.
Most of my good hunting stories are from when I was like 12 to 18 on deer drives.
Right.
Most of my like ones I won't talk about.
think about the other thing that you didn't pay a whole lot of attention to probably at that is like the quality of the deer, right? It wasn't a giant. It wasn't a
I grew up. It
6-year-old.
was brown. It's down, man.
Yep.
If that thing moves, kill it.
Yep. I mean, and you talk about
Seriously.
how fun those days were.
Yeah, I was right.
It's. I mean, we've talked about this 100 times on the show, but I mean, in a way, quality deer management is. I'm a huge advocate of it, but in a lot of ways, it's not good because, let's say like one of our kids or your kids or whose grandkids, whatever. Wow, that 8-pointer ain't quite this.
Yeah,
big
but I think that's.
I don't want to shoot it.
I won't shoot a deer anymore if it's not 4.5, 5 years old. Personally.
Yep.
Right. My 15-year-old last year, I'm like. I mean, he shot, I don't know, crazy, 6, 7 deer already. He's 15 now, but it was every year now. It's got to be better for you.
Right.
Like you start out at you.
Yeah.
You do you, but now every year you should start
Progressing.
striving for a little more quality, right?
Yep.
'Cause we've got a lot of deer on our farm. It's not a food thing for us. If we're going to eat, we just shoot those.
Right.
That's what we do.
Yep.
And again, I don't judge anybody else. They got to manage their farm and deal with their herd and all those things. But for him, it's now every year you should strive to want to do better, right? Now, my next son, Nolan's coming up in a couple of years. He can start hunting. Man, shoot the first spike you see. I don't care.
Right.
Like, nobody wants to sit out there and just stare at the woods forever. That's not any fun.
No, sooner or later you want to put some bones on the ground.
Right, but it's got to be. But the thing for me was hunting's got to be more than just killing deer.
Yes.
That was always my thing.
Yes.
Like the kids, you can see it, right? It's like, oh, I just want to shoot something. Or there'll be 10 hunts in. I just got to shoot something. Well, that's just not what it's about, At least for me, that's not what it's about.
No, that's not how you play the game. So back to the gun stuff. So we covered the Savage. Let's just continue through here. I got to bring the Whitetail Catalog up. Man, this thing is
I just
really
like talking
nice.
about hunting stories.
Well, that's what I like too, and that's why I'm like, yeah. Let's talk
These
about
are just all hunting stories waiting to happen.
Real quick, I don't caliber-wise for youth kids whitetail deer. What do you recommend for the starting? Do you recommend like a starting caliber, or does it not matter? You just get them into.
Yeah, no.
12 gauge, 3.5 inch long.
Yeah, generally speaking, youngsters, people of smaller stature are generally going to be more affected by recoil. Good news is, especially with the ammunition that's available today, you don't have to beat yourself up to kill a white-tailed deer. I'll bring up a controversial subject simply because I've changed sides on it, and that's the centerfire 22s, the 223, the 22-250. 10 years ago, if somebody had told me they were going to use a 223 to hunt white-tailed deer, I would have been as respectful as I could possibly manage in their presence, and I'd have condemned them to everybody that would listen after they left.
Right.
That's changed. The manufacturers, ammunition manufacturers, are applying big game bullet technology to smaller bullets. And what we used to think, because of the limitations of bullet technology in the past, you needed a bigger bullet, heavier bullet, wider bullet in order to get the job done. They're managing to get it done with better technology now. So we've got ammunition in stock that is suitable for hunting white-tailed deer with a 223. There are going to be people that are going to watch this and think I'm wrong. Let's put that. Just think I'm wrong. And everybody's certainly entitled to their opinion, but the facts are stacking up with the proper selection of ammunition.
Right, I think that's the big key.
Yeah.
The 223, the 22-250 are excellent starting choices. We have to be sure that with the youngster, the person shooting, understands the limitations of that round, isn't trying to take a 500-yard shot.
Right.
Stepping up from there, the 243, timeless classic.
I shot
and
That's what my kids are
just
shooting.
keeps getting better.
Yep.
The 7mm 08, the 6.5 Creedmoor, the hot new caliber, kind of falls in the middle between the 243 and the 7mm 08 performance-wise. Awesome choice. Any of those do the job.
See, my son, I started him out because my dad growing up, it was got to have an 06. You need to knock down power, and then I got sick of getting beat up, so I went to a 270 because I wanted something flatter shooting. Because when I used to hunt out in Wild Rose, Watomir, I liked those 300-yard shots because it was all Christmas trees, and I was way up high, and I just liked being a sniper. It was just fun.
For people who can make the longer shots, who have practice with it, who understand the ballistics of the round they're using, who have the discipline to make those longer shots. Certainly the larger calibers are going to give you more range.
Yep. Well, then when my kid came along, I put him into a 243, and I've just seen him drop deer cold in their tracks with that gun. It's just, the knockdown power is unbelievable. I mean, I'm a huge advocate of that Winchester Deer Season XP ammo. That stuff is just deadly, man.
Really?
I've tipped over so many deer since I've started using that ammo. They don't move.
Where are you just aiming behind the shoulder, or are you aiming like high shoulders?
I usually just right part, long area, and they just go down. It's over. The knockdown power of that ammo, like he's saying, I think, and I am not an ammo aficionado at all, right? I looked at the box and it said knockdown power. I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm just saying, it just works. I'm just saying.
That's true.
That stuff just puts them down.
I love it.
You're the consumer that advertisers wait for.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, it worked. Like that ammo, I can't attest them. There's a lot of ammo. We carry tons of ammo. All I'm saying is that stuff, that's all I'll shoot now because I pull the trigger and the thing goes down.
Boom.
It is one of the many excellent choices that we carry.
That stuff is...
What's your favorite one?
I hand load all my hunting ammo.
Oh, really?
Shocker.
Yeah, weird.
Does that surprise you?
Deers have like mini grenades in them and stuff. When they hit, they just go boom.
Nope. Hand loading.
What do you hunt with then that you hand load? Depends on what day of the week it is.
44 Magnum 25-06 308.
See, I've never heard of a 25-06. Have you?
No.
I've never
Dude,
heard
I'm
of it.
not.
I have. That's all that counts.
I love having Steve on the
Wait,
show.
a 44 mag? Like you hunt with a handgun?
And I've also got a 44 Magnum carbine. Yeah.
Is that the 40? What is that one? That's a 610, right?
That's a 10 millimeter. The Ruger sitting over there is is a 44 mag. Yeah.
I don't even want to touch it.
I think we should have brought that's not. Which one's the penguin gun? Did you bring the penguin gun in here? We should have brought the penguin gun.
Wait a
from
minute.
Batman, where you had to like pull it
Oh,
out and just kept going. We got one of those up front.
So do you all right. Well, okay. So the Savage is a really great gun. It's a great gun. Well, it is. I mean, I just want to kind
that
of
was a professional segue.
Well,
right
it
there.
is. I mean, like Steve talked about all the benefits.
The Savage is a great gun.
I mean, adjustable stock, adjustable trigger, Acu trigger, comes with a
You
vortex
can't
scope.
save it, man. It's over.
No, I just let's go.
Dude, you just Joe Biden that. Like you just you did it. Nice recovery.
You can
bud.
still
You did
see it. It's right there. I want to know, like, you can't even grip the handle on that thing to be accurate. Does yours have a bigger handle on it?
Never talk to a man about his handle size, especially
Where's
live.
grips?
What's the matter with it? I got small hands.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Here's what I've learned. I am a very beginner handgun shooter. Right?
Yeah.
Steve got me set up. I got my concealed carry. My wife and I started shooting handguns now. I have realized that there's so much into shooting a handgun that I never knew existed.
What's proper grip, Steve? Show us proper grip.
Proper grip. Well,
It's
with
like
the
half
gun pointing away from you.
Yeah.
All right. High on the grip generally, rather than lower. People tend to want to grab them
away from
down
you.
lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, hand placed.
I thought it's like you got it two hands together.
Well, we're going to start with one hand.
All right.
All right.
You ever shot a handgun?
Okay.
Matt?
Yeah, I have.
And
There's a
Once.
technique to everything, though,
Doesn't
right?
sound like it, does it?
Once
shooting with a hunting handgun is a bit of a different grip, a whole different proposition than shooting a defensive pistol or a target pistol.
Well, it's like shooting your bow, right? You grip your bow different than I grip my bow.
Ideally, you're going to have a rest. And
Yeah.
that's going to go for shotgun, muzzleloader, rifle, what have you. Ideally, you're going to have a rest. You're going to be able to brace your arms against a tree. One thing you don't want to do with a Magnum handgun is put your hand on top of something and put the gun on top of it. Okay, that hurts. A lot.
A lot.
Okay.
On your
you're,
bottom hand?
You're better off resting your.
Because it throws it down.
We're going to use this. I want to have you.
I'll move out of the.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
Do you want the bag?
Instead of this, you're going to go out here and rest your arms.
So your
Okay.
wrist can
Or
move?
against the side of a tree. Anything that you can do to take some of the tremor out. If you're going to shoot offhand, again, know your limits. And the best way to do that is go to the range and practice.
Do you put a scope on yours?
I haven't scoped any of my handguns yet. Primarily because I am a Smith & Wesson collector. I hunt with vintage guns that aren't set up from the factory for scopes, and I don't want to alter them. This gun, now this actually comes with scope rings. That's what these little divots in the top rib are for. It comes with excellent open sights, but it also comes with scope rings. So if you want to put a long eye relief scope on there, it can definitely increase your practical range with the gun simply because it's going to give you a finer aiming point. The crosshairs are going to eclipse, a fraction of an inch at 50 yards. This open sight depends on the length of your arm and how far away you're holding it. It's going to cover, 6-8 inches at 50 yards. To me, that is the one of the top 3 limitations for hunting with a handgun. The first, of course, being the caliber itself. You can legally, in the state of Wisconsin, hunt with any centerfire caliber above 22, which means you can hunt with a single-shot .223 pistol. It also means if you have enough barrel length, you could hunt with a 25 auto. I've never heard of a 25 auto with a sufficient barrel length, but it would technically be legal. I really think the 357 Magnum should be considered generally, for most people's purposes, the bare minimum, and you want to make sure you're shooting a good heavy bullet and keeping your range realistic. I like to think bow hunting distances, of course, that for me, some of you weirdos are shooting 50, 60 yards.
Bows?
Yeah.
Why are we weird?
I shoot.
You know what I find weird is somebody can be accurate with that at 50 yards. I've been shooting my handgun a lot, and I'm like sort of relatively kind of confident at like 7 yards. I've got seriously. It's crazy how. I've
got a 41 Magnum with an 8 3/8 inch barrel, a Smith & Wesson Model 57. On a good day, when my eyes aren't giving me too much trouble with open sights at 50 yards, I can shoot 2-inch groups with it.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
What I've learned for me, it's how much of my trigger finger I have on the trigger has been my biggest differentiate. Up and down, I'm pretty good. It's the left and right I really struggle with being consistent.
Yep.
Right, because when you're pulling the trigger, you're actually pushing the gun to the side instead of pulling straight back.
Or if you have too much of your finger on it, you're actually pulling it away from it. So I've been struggling with that.
Because, you're shooting a striker-fired pistol. It's going to have a longer, heavier trigger pull. On a hunting handgun, we're going to have a more of a rifle-like trigger.
So that also brings up another question I have is like for shooting a release, like let's say you're shooting an index finger release, and a lot of educators would tell you to bury the trigger. So when you're squeezing through the shot, you put your finger around the trigger on the release as far as you can for a bow, obviously. What's proper trigger management for a handgun or a gun in general? Do you wrap the trigger or do you get it on the sensitive part?
Most people are going to put it on the pad of their index finger.
Do you do that? Or because that's what they say, like in archery, when you get it, because there's more sensitive, you can feel more to the tip. That I'm not
saying anything.
That's why you wrap it around.
He uses the word reservoir. I'm going to back out of here.
But that's right. So they say to wrap your finger around the trigger more. So first of all, you can pull this way.
Can we get a close up of this?
Yeah.
What's going on over here?
I just didn't know what proper trigger.
When I was being taught, it was the pad, like the tip of your finger, because if you have too much on it, you end up.
But that's I'm asking general questions here on how to be accurate with these damn things.
No, the pad of your finger, and again, it's going to vary a little bit depending on the individual, different size hands, different dimensions to stocks, different types of triggers. Everybody's going to have to work with what they've got, both physically and mechanically, to come up with the best solution for them. But generally speaking, pad of your fingertip is going to give you the best mechanical advantage. You're less likelihood that you're going to be torquing it from side to side. Remember, you don't really have to worry about torquing the bow.
Right.
When you're pulling, first, generally speaking,
when you pull straight back on the, you know what I mean? You kind of pull back.
Right. You're not pushing it from side to side.
I haven't shot a finger release in forever.
Right.
You're not torquing the bow at all. So you're just manipulating the trigger. And also controlling your follow through, your back tension and such. With a firearm, you're actually you can affect your point of aim, your point of impact through improper trigger manipulation. So you need to make sure you take as much of that out of the equation as you can.
Yeah, I think it's the same for both weapons. I mean, you just by squeezing the trigger on your bow, you can affect how your arrow hits too. Not only in your front hand, but your backhand too, like with facial pressure and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, back to it. So you, for hunting with a handgun, you try to keep your range within like 40 yards.
Well, again, depends on the individual, depends on how much experience they've got, depends on the ammunition they're using, the caliber that they're hunting with. Depends on their sighting apparatus and individual.
Sighting apparatus.
You're using open sights, red dot, a magnified scope.
I feel like I'm in a
But
meeting with
you and
Zach.
I can have
All
the
these big
exact
words.
same bow, and your effective range may be 75 yards with that, where I'm not comfortable beyond 40.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Same thing with handguns.
The one on that in your left hand looks like it's straight out of like some old western.
Yeah,
movie.
it really does.
It's got similarities in its origins, yeah.
I like the look of it.
That's a 10 millimeter Smith & Wesson Model 610. This is a gun that Smith & Wesson has recently revived. The 10 millimeter round is an auto-loading pistol round, but they make it work in a revolver because they use little clips that hold the ammo together so it doesn't fall straight through the cylinder.
Why a 10, not a 9? Like, what's the point of having an extra millimeter?
Well, it's not just about the extra millimeter, which more defines the round than...
Matt.
Hold it together, man.
I'm listening to the
It's just a
conversation.
millimeter.
It's just a millimeter.
It's a
Size
millimeter.
matters when it comes
But
down
the
to
10
it.
millimeter
For some people
is-
like Matt, it takes that.
The 10 millimeter round is also longer, besides being wider. It has higher case capacity. It's loaded to higher pressures. The result is the 9 millimeter is going to shoot a 115 grain bullet at around 1,100 feet per second. The 10 millimeter is going to shoot a 180 grain bullet at maybe around 12.
So bigger size packs more punch.
Size matters.
There it is.
Size
Bigger
does
bullet
matter.
packs more punch.
So what's the furthest deer you've ever killed with your handgun? We're just like Lance calls it. We're having pissing matches in here today.
About 50 yards.
That's amazing. Honestly, because like I said, I'm good to about 7, and I'm not even good. I wouldn't shoot at a deer with my handgun right now.
The proudest I have ever been of any shot with a handgun is the first time my wife took a deer with a handgun.
Oh, nice.
That 41 Magnum I was talking about. It was a big doe at 35 yards, but she dropped that bitch in her tracks.
She's just naturally a really good shot. Your wife?
No, that comes
Okay.
from living with me.
Okay. No, because no, my wife has never shot a gun ever. She bought that Taurus from you, that Taurus handgun. Took it down to the range. It's not even fair. She's so much better of a shot to me. The handgun is not even funny.
Women surprise guys constantly with that. They tend.
Unbelievable.
I think there is I'd say women are better natural shots with firearms
Is
than
it just
guys
because
are.
they're
It's
more
actually
cold-blooded?
proven that they are.
They're just cold-blooded, right?
They don't bring ego to the table.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I
They
always
don't
thought
bring
because
ego
she
to the
was
table.
Russian.
Yeah. They're not.
Could be that
They don't
too.
automatically assume they're going to be a good shot. Guys do.
Maybe that's why she does shoot so well,
I-
because she doesn't rush it. Get it?
I just told her she's Russian, so that's why she can shoot like that.
Are they naturally better shots?
I don't know. They like guns, I think. I don't know.
World War II, the greatest snipers of World War II were Russian women.
See, there you
Bam,
go.
Russian
Boom.
women.
I didn't even know that. I just figured it had to be something to do with it.
Leave it to Steve. Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I like talking guns with you guys because Steve's got some really good stories. What other kind of cool stories can
What
you
do we
tell us?
got?
Well, let's talk about that. Yeah, the Dan Wesson Bruin. This is like the sexiest pistol we've got in the entire store. It's a 1911 Dan Wesson. I'm really proud of this fact that we are the only factory direct Dan Wesson dealer
Are
in the
we
state of
really?
Wisconsin. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I think it says right here in the catalog.
it says it
I've
right
heard
there.
that a couple times.
Hey, you know what it also says is our new firearms commercial.
The Bruin, I should
Is it
point
out
out.
there yet?
Not yet.
And
Working on
actually,
it.
one of the things I should mention about handguns, the state of
You
Wisconsin,
need to
we
see
talked
one of
about caliber. 22 caliber centerfire or larger. The biggest restriction on handguns is the overall length of the barrel. Now, the industry measures pistol barrel length, including the entire barrel, which includes the chamber. On revolvers, the industry measures the barrel in front of the cylinder. So there's actually an inequity in how the industry measures barrel length. State of Wisconsin, in order to equalize things, says the way you measure a barrel is from the muzzle to the firing pin with the action closed. So on
Which
a
would make
revolver,
sense.
that actually includes the cylinder. This is a 7.5-inch barrel, but there's almost 2 inches of cylinder length there. So the state would measure that out at 9.5 inches, something like that. The state of Wisconsin stipulates that in order to hunt big game with a handgun, it has to measure at least 5.5 inches from muzzle to firing pin with action closed. That's always been kind of a problem with handguns because the standard 1911 barrel length has always been 5 inches. It falls just a little bit short. So we come to this. This is the Bruin. This is a long slide 1911. It's got a 6-inch barrel, which means it's legal in the state of Wisconsin for hunting big game. In the past, people will say, "Gee, I want a pistol for hunting deer." Say, "Okay, we show them revolvers." No, I want an automatic. Well, you know,
It wasn't legal.
There were very few that were available. There are more now. We've got a couple of them in stock here. This Bruin from Dan Wesson is chambered in the 10mm round. Again, that high-performance round. It's got a tritium fiber optic front sight, fully adjustable rear with tritium inserts as well. This is just a deer hunting beast for somebody who wants to.
It's not heavy either.
It's not that heavy.
It's very lightweight.
And it's got that. Again, Dan Wesson uses nothing but match grade barrels, and just a gorgeously crisp trigger. So somebody who wants to hunt deer with a handgun, prefers to use an auto pistol, this is just exactly what it's made for.
Could you put like a red dot on that too then?
There are guns on the market that are set up for that. This one would be a little bit difficult to do that with.
So like what Brian's talking about though, your range with that has probably got to be a lot less than 50 yards, right?
I'd call it a 50-yard gun.
He would. He would
Practice.
call it that.
You know,
They're not easy
they
to
make-
shoot
No,
at far
that's what I'm
distances.
saying. I'm
yeah.
giving him credit for being able to shoot a gun like that at 50 yards.
They
I
make a
couldn't-
lot of ammo. You just buy
I
ammo,
wouldn't hit
shoot
the
the
target.
gun.
I wouldn't even be on the paper at 50 right now. No way.
And that's the way I am with a bow.
Oh, jeez. Rifles, I've always been a great shot with handguns. That's a major work in progress for me.
Right.
It takes commitment. You don't hunt deer with a handgun for the advantage it's giving you. You do it for the challenge.
The challenge. It's like hunting with a muzzleloader.
Yeah.
In a way. Which, speaking of that, we're going to jump all over the board.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this when I was here.
Do you want to
last
skip over it?
January. What? No. It's just we didn't have one to show at the time.
Right. Here we go. Now we got one to show.
You want to move your catalog out of there?
Yeah.
It's
That would be the next crisis.
CV8 Paramount. Just it's a huge
Looks
leap
like it's got the
forward.
adjustable stock here.
It's got a lot of adjustment to the stock. It's got an adjustable comb.
This is a muzzle loader?
This is a muzzle loader. This is
How does this work?
put the bullet in on top of the powder, pull the trigger.
No, but it's not a break action, right? You just
No,
use that to
it
put the
uses a
primer in?
bolt. It comes with some steel. A lot of people are aware of Knight. They used a disc system. This
Yep.
uses a similar system, but it's stainless steel, and it uses a large rifle primer, and it comes with a small supply of those. They, in conjunction with Power Belt, they came up with a high ballistic coefficient 45 caliber Power Belt bullet. It comes with a small supply of them to start with. It's optimized for use with it's a Blackhorn 209 powder.
Yep.
And they are claiming 400-yard deer hunting accuracy and performance with this gun.
I can't. Yeah.
With a muzzleloader, dude, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Carl has actually shot the gun, not this one, but
I
he
can't
had a
get
chance
over
to.
that the lever action of a muzzleloader just to put the primer in, right? But
Yep.
that's pretty cool.
Yep. I thought I was doing well. I killed a deer in Nebraska right around 200 yards with my muzzleloader.
Good shot.
We carry the CVA Optima V2, and that's the one that I have. That is, in my opinion, one of the best muzzleloaders on the market. You might say differently. Carl might. That thing, for the price you pay for that thing is lights out accurate.
That's really cool.
But this thing is 400 yards. I'm excited about that.
That's what they're claiming. I have not personally.
Carl shot this one,
one?
though?
Yeah, Carl. I believe Carl said he has had a chance to shoot the Paramount.
It's heavy, though.
Is it? It
It
looks
is.
like it's kind of a tank.
It's heavy.
This is a shoot.
There's a lot of barrel on that gun.
Yeah.
That's
This is a shoot house gun.
a shoot house gun?
Yeah, you know, the deer
stand.
tower. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha,
Yep.
gotcha.
Kind of like the new Red X blinds we just got in.
Oh, nice segue. That's much better than the previous one.
So this is good gun.
This gun good here.
He's had some time to think about it.
Yeah. No, I was pretty excited about this, but we carry a pretty good assortment of other muzzleloaders, right?
Yeah, we've got, we didn't bring one out.
TC?
But it's not in the, it is here in the catalog. We didn't bring one out. The TC Impact.
Yep.
I think bang for your buck, literally. Is one of the best deals on the market. I think we got those things priced at $229.
Yep, that's what it says here in the catalog. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Plus, if you find it cheaper, we'll price match because we do that here.
Do we price match?
Do we actually price match?
You should play that ad.
You should. People aren't aware of that. What? We're talking price matching.
Whatever
I
Matt
love that.
was on that day.
I love that
Holy
because
shit.
that's just less work.
Have you seen
It's
it?
like, yeah, have you
All
seen
I
how
had
many
to do-
hits you got on that thing?
I just had to tell him to think about things that make you angry,
Keep
and he
playing.
thought about
No.
price match.
You should play it. You should
No.
play it, Zach.
Play the damn video, and then we'll
Play
talk
it.
about. We'll go back to Friday and how it all played out. Zach, just I don't know.
I was so lost. I just didn't have any creativity juice.
Where's my choo-choo?
I did. I
didn't
walked
have any
outside.
creativity juice.
I walked outside.
Jamie's gonna have to leave you
minute
alone before
later.
you start coming to work.
Well,
Right.
You got to keep the creativity juice.
That whole thing started when I said we need to put
Yeah.
someplace on our website on Facebook.
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah,
put
he
on there.
said
the
I
that.
gave
price
you
match.
props.
Can
I gave you
Can you
props
make
on
it?
this.
Can you make it flash or something
Yep.
so it draws people's attention? And he chose that moment to go.
We said
shit.
We said nope.
Ape shit is
We
the
said
word.
nope, but we can do one better. Well, and it's. I mean, seriously, like. In all honesty, like we don't get asked that much as we made it sound like in the videos if we price match because we're really super competitive. But the way I looked at it is let these guys do all the work on sales.
Right.
We'll just ride their coattails.
I agree.
I mean, for us,
And why not?
For us, when we saw that catalog came in, that certain one we're kind of talking about, we knew that we're a player in the game now because like they're a little worried.
Especially locally.
Yeah, they're a little
We're
worried.
kicking your butt.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, toot toot,
We
right?
are,
Toot
right?
toot, toot toot, whatever
are.
you got to do. I mean, we are. Because we've
Making
talked
waves
about it.
is what we should say.
How
There
many
you go.
times has that company sent out personal catalogs?
Almost never. I don't think I've ever seen one.
And two recipients here at the Real Shot got
I've never seen one before in, I don't know, my life.
And then what I thought was really funny
And
is
I used to be like before I started this, I used to be on the Cabela's list where you got the hardcover catalog,
Right.
like the thick master hardcover. You got to spend some money every year to get one of those, right? I don't get that.
That's the one you keep in the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't get
Yeah.
that. I don't get it
Yeah.
anymore. I took
Well,
it off the list.
and I thought
Good place for it.
that catalog came out shortly after the release of this one too. Did you
Right.
notice that?
well, no, there's no. I mean, no, you can't put something like that together in a week. No, not
Look at their
possible.
staff compared to our staff, possibly.
There is true.
I'm
They
just,
don't have
I'm just.
Megan.
They don't have Megan, but I'm just telling you, like, we're the Holyfield real deal
All
here.
right, I think Zach's ready.
TC Compass, then we'll come
Get in
back
there.
with the TC Compass. Because this is like we got this one like in a hot buy or something, right, Steve?
Yeah, we got a pretty good deal on this gun.
Here, I'm gonna slide it this way.
We're going to show the video first. We're going to talk about the compass.
Give me like 2 minutes, if that.
So
2
talk about the
minutes.
compass then.
Talk about the compass. Okay. Every major rifle manufacturer out there has got their entry-level rifle.
Yep.
They're getting better across the board from all the manufacturers. But when it came time to put together our assortment, the guns that we were going to be focusing on here, I had to look at everything on the market and decide on an entry level, an entry price point rifle to select. And it didn't take me long at all to decide to realize that the TC Compass was the right gun for that. It's better built than anybody else's entry level gun on the market.
By
I will
entry
say
level,
that
what do you qualify as an entry level price tag?
cheap.
What does that mean dollar-wise, though?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a
Oh,
different level of
under
cheapness.
$500, under
Okay.
$400. The gun that gets packaged up, the gun that gets the Black Friday specials, that gun.
Yep.
Savage has the Axis, Ruger has the American, and so on and so on and so on.
Okay.
TC Compass is a 60-degree bolt throw. It uses 3 locking lugs, which allows them to have a lower bolt handle rise than others. It protects your hand from banging against the scope. It protects the scope itself. It's a little
Yep.
bit faster. Plus, it's also a stronger action, and it's a more accurate way to build the action because it's got 3 locking lugs instead of 2. It has an incredibly wide bolt body on it. It's actually wider than one of the best known accuracy actions on the market, the Remington 700. This is wider than the 700. Again, wider means stiffer. Stiffer means more accurate. Okay, it's got a thicker action. It's got a fairly small ejection port and thicker steel through the action, which again makes it stiffer, which makes it again what? More accurate.
More accurate, yep.
They have
Say it together now.
they have an accuracy guarantee on this gun. A lot of manufacturers do. 1 shot or 3 shots inside an inch at 100 yards, close to what's generally referred to as minute of angle. This gun has developed a pretty solid reputation for doing much better than that with premium ammunition. It's got a more solid stock. It is a pillar-bedded stock. It's got a 3-position bolt, which means you can have the gun off safe, ready to fire. You can have it all the way on safe, which also locks the bolt handle in place so it can't accidentally flip up while you're walking through the brush. For instance, you can knock the bolt handle open and accidentally unchambers around which you discover when you need it.
Right.
But it's also got the middle position, which allows you to open the action and clear the action without taking the gun completely off safe. Uses a good, really good, solid detachable box magazine. It has a threaded muzzle. It's a nice touch in case somebody were to want to put a muzzle brake on there or go to the trouble of getting a suppressor for it. Even comes with scope bases installed, good steel scope bases. We sell steel 2-piece base sets like this from Warren at $33. Included with this gun, we have got this gun really well priced at $339.99. As far as I know, nobody else in the area has got it close to that. Close maybe, but not at
What
that.
caliper is this one?
I've got this gun available in 9 calibers right now.
Really?
From 223 to 300 Magnum.
All for that 340?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
It
Does
is.
this have adjustable trigger or anything like that too?
It is adjustable. Yep. Again, most people aren't going to need to. It's got an awesome trigger right out of the box.
Awesome. Well, I've got the video ready.
He's ready.
Want to watch
Play
that?
it.
Are we still
Because
interested
you'd
in
mentioned
that?
the price of the rifle, and just in case, if you do find it,
If you do find it.
we'll price match.
And now
Do we price match?
we do, but available
sure?
stock only, right? It's got to be in stock at these other places, unless we don't really care,
No, it's got to. Well, I think we painted it out that if it's in their advertisement, we're going to match it.
right?
So let's roll the video.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I was thinking it.
Quiet. You know what I love? Zach is like the boss in this video.
I love the roll of toilet paper there.
I love the road. Nice. I'm out of here. That's right.
Do you sign autographs when you go back home?
No,
Like,
but I
you go to football practice
but I
tonight?
just did sign over 100 thank you cards that are going to be going out in the mail.
So we were talking about audio issues, right? So the
Oh, they
audio's
said they couldn't
repeating.
hear the.
Yeah. So
Why is that?
I don't know.
We
It
got to
was
get this
peaking.
audio fixed, man.
Why? Okay, so we went for how many episodes
Is there
where
any
every day
media
there was
guys
a tech
available
thing?
for hire?
We've got like 10 or 15.
Just kidding.
Son, come on over here. We'll swap places.
The full mat without the audio.
EC Davis says
EC,
can't
he's
experience the
pissed.
full mat without the
He's
audio.
pissed.
Well, if you want to see the full video with audio, head on over to our Facebook page, scroll down a couple posts, and you'll see it there. Boom.
Clickbait.
Jesus.
Can people even hear us talking right now?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said they could hear us. They couldn't
I don't
hear
know.
the video.
I have everything set up, so we're going to do some
Sometimes
investigating.
it's
We're gonna get to the
That
bottom
doesn't
of this
make
audio
sense.
thing.
When he's muted, nice. I love it. See, that's what I'm saying. Like Justin said, a lot of videos get more views with I'm not in them. When I'm muted.
I don't laugh as hard though.
So this another really good gun, right?
Yeah.
The TC.
Yeah, it was
Plus, it's an
just a good
awesome
gun.
price match, right? Price match. because we do that around
Everybody
here.
else is going to have to answer the price match question on that one.
He's
Oh,
pretty confident
nice.
about that. There you go.
He just literally mic dropped on that one. Feel pretty good about that. I like
I
that,
do.
Steve. That a boy. What's next? What do you want me to grab here?
Grab that Bergara.
Yeah, I like this one.
What gun don't you like?
I don't like a lot of guns.
Really?
I'm not a big gun
We're
guy.
not going to talk about those.
I like.
We're not going to
guns.
talk about those ones I don't like.
The Bergara B14.
It's an interesting. Is that camo? What is that?
Sure.
3rd grade paint.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That looks cool.
Soft though.
It's
It
fleck,
is. Soft
fleck
touch.
pattern. We carry this in a number of different configurations. This is the Hunter. We carried the Ridge, the one with the walnut stock,
I think that's the one I had in here originally with the wood
Right.
stock.
and then the HMR. HMR is really a target stock gun. The rest of them, the Hunter and the was the Woodsman, is whatever the Timber, one with the walnut stock. Same rifle, same contour of the barrel. Bergara, okay, that TC muzzleloader, the Paramount that we had up here, same company, same
CVA, ain't
ownership.
it?
CVA and Bergara are affiliated. I'm not sure how the ownership balances out. Not worth talking about right now, but they use Bergara barrels. That's where they're getting the accuracy out of this thing. They're using the Bergara barrel, and you can actually see the quality of the stock, probably getting their stocks out of the same vendor. Bergara is known for their accuracy. These things got just sweet, sweet triggers in them. Well known for their accuracy. Bergara, I selected that as a great line. Again, value. Gun that we're selling this for $699.99. And this is going to be as accurate a rifle as you can get under $2,000, I believe. I've got that in stock in 4 or 5 different calibers.
For a guy, what is like to be ethical and all that kind of stuff? I know everybody shoots differently. Like now is the time to get in here and buy a gun. Don't wait until November 10th, a week before deer season, and expect wonders, right?
Well, first selection is going to be better.
Right.
But yeah, no, get in here, get that rifle now. And I'll harp on this again just a little bit. You got to shoot the rifle. Don't just take it to the range and put it on a bench rest and zero it and go just ready to hunt. No. Now step away from the bench. Take another couple of boxes of ammunition. Doesn't even have to be premium hunting ammo. Get some cheap stuff and get out there and start banging gongs. Whatever you got the option to shoot at your local range or at your own home range or wherever you're doing your shooting safely. Shoot offhand. Shoot from field expedient positions. See how that gun shoots with the magnification on your scope all the way down low and all the way up high and set in the middle. There's some people who have bought some really, really nice scopes and kept the magnification all the way up, and come opening morning, they're sitting in a tree stand, they're sitting in a blind and realize, God, it's pretty dark out there. And they turn the magnification down and discover that their gun is going to feel different to them.
Really?
Just looking through that scope at a different magnification.
Aren't you supposed to sight it in though at whatever max power is on your scope?
I recommend, well, most people are going to do that simply because it's going to be easier to see bullet holes. It's going to be easier to see the target. It's going to be easier to pick the center of the bullseye. So naturally, I do the same thing. I zero my guns initially at high magnification. Now, while you're at the bench, before you ever walk away, okay, I got it perfectly zeroed. Now turn the magnification down and see if that affects your point of impact. It can, with even very, very high-end scopes, it can have small effects. If you've got a problem with the scope, it could even have a very large effect on your point of impact. But check it and see. That's the sort of thing you've got to determine in advance before the season starts. Speaking of magnification, people are talking about scopes. I think more people these days are getting used to having a scope on their rifle. I still talk to the occasional person comes in and says, geez, don't you have anything with open sights anymore? I can't stand a scope. Cost me the biggest, I don't know why it's always the biggest buck of their life that it cost them, but it was. This is the biggest buck of my life. What happened? Guy was on a drive, something.
If it wasn't the biggest buck of their life, they wouldn't be in talking to you.
Biggest buck of their life, jumped out of the brush, jumped up at their feet and ran off. And when I threw the gun up, I saw nothing but brown. Okay, pull
the trigger, right? Isn't that?
No, Matt, no. Don't do that.
First thing I recommend to people is
Red Foreman your ass.
I'll wait. Go ahead. No, first thing I recommend is don't overscope your rifle. Look at the conditions under which you're generally going to be shooting it, and don't overscope it. 2 to 7 is, generally speaking, more than enough for Wisconsin whitetail. 3 to 9, 2.5 to 10, something in that. 4 to 12 max on a whitetail hunting rifle. Like. Second thing is general rule. If you need, and I emphasize the actual definition of the word need, if you need the scope on high magnification, you will generally have time to turn it up. If you need it on low magnification, you're not going to have time to turn it down. So keep the damn scope turned down all the way or almost all the way for most of your hunting needs. That way, if you do get that surprise shot at the buck of a lifetime at close range, you can get on them faster and easier. You're going to have a wider field of view. Second, practice using the gun with a scope on it. Again, people will shoot off a bench and then never really practice shooting in the offhand in the real world. And when they do, even then, they're taking their time setting the shot up. Okay? So here's what happens when they're out in the woods, and that buck of a lifetime jumps out of the brush 40 yards from them. They do this. First thing they do is this. Okay? Now, there's the deer. Here's my eye, and what have I just done? I completely blocked my view of the target. Okay, so practice this. Get in the habit of starting by mounting the butt to your shoulder, keep your eye on the target, and bring the gun up. Don't look at the scope, look at the target. And if you do that a few times, practice that a few times in the field, pick a target, get on it, bring the scope up, and fire. It's amazing how fast you can acquire a target just by changing the way that you're using the rifle.
That's an awesome tip.
I agree. Hey, Steve, Tyson said he's looking at a 270, a TC 270. He's asking for scope recommendations.
From what I read it says he'll take a 270.
I know. I didn't want to assume he's actually. Trying to be nice.
Sell him a Thompson Center.
I got that in stock in 270.
Yeah, we like Tyson too, especially that he's going to buy a Thompson Center 270.
Yep.
But he wants a scope recommendation.
Sure.
So this is
which one did we grab here? We grabbed one with an illuminated reticle. Okay. Vortex Crossfire 2, awesome choice. We got these. I think they start around $130. A 3 to 9 without the illumination.
That we have like a palette of.
That's that one.
This one right here.
Yep.
That would be a really large palette. Yeah.
See, and that's what I use on my. I like the 4 to 12s.
Yep.
See, again, somebody's gonna have to price match us. What's up?
This.
Should do a video.
I remember that meeting. And I sat down and I said, we got a chance to buy these at a really good price, and you threw a number at me, and I went, oh, okay. So yeah,
I have a tendency.
Those are the best.
A palette.
Those are the best meetings.
We got a palette of Nikon 4 to 12 by 40 BDC scopes. Yeah. We got these things priced at $99.99.
That's $150 or $130?
It's not a cataloged item. I have seen it go online. I've seen it marked online and have an MSRP of $216.95.
What?
Yeah, we've got this gun or this scope priced at $99.99, and it's going to stay there until they're gone, I'm sure.
So for
Tyson said he's been looking at a Tika T3. I have that gun. That 270, I've shot so many deer with that Tika 270. It's not even funny.
Really?
The one he's talking about there, yeah.
So for what he's looking for, knowing that 270 caliber, would that Nikon be a really good entry-level choice?
It would be a good entry-level scope for him, sure.
And then we always carry the Vortex and something
We carry some higher-end Vortex. We carry some higher-end Nikons. The ProStaff P5, 2.5 to 10, one of my favorite scopes out there.
I have that Tika gun he's talking about, that Tika T3 with the silver barrel with this scope on it. I've shot so many. It's a deadly combination, man.
No, T3 is an awesome rifle. Really well known for how smooth the action is and how light the gun is.
Yep.
This thing is super light,
I get bored with stuff, though. Now I'm thinking I got to have Steve build me a new deer rifle.
What are you doing? What are you going with?
I came to you and I said, Steve, build me a deer rifle. What's it going to be? Like, I want something badass.
Sky's not the limit, like price range, not a factor?
Well, you know me.
Okay, sure. Now, I got to ask a few questions first.
I mean, I've shot that gun Tyson's talking. I bet you I've shot 60 deer with that gun.
Do we carry Tikas?
Yeah, we got some Tikas out there. Are you going for? Do you care about the weight? I
want lightweight.
You want lightweight? The Tika would be an awesome choice.
I already have that though. I'm bored of that. I want something else.
You want something different than the Tika? Okay.
AR platform.
You want to look good doing it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I need all the help I can get. Let's be honest.
Actually, without breaking the bank, which would be your bank, so it's
right.
But without breaking the bank,
I do own a small militia now.
The Ruger American, we got that Go Wild, which is an awesome rifle. Browning X-Bolt Speed, the Hell's Canyon Speed. It's got the fluted barrel, the bronze Cerakote, burnt bronze Cerakote, camouflage
I
stock.
bought Jimmy the A-Bolt last year, which is one step down, right, than the X-Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And would set that up with the in 6.5 Creedmoor.
Okay. What about on the AR platform? That's what I've been thinking.
On an AR platform?
That's what I've been thinking.
Oh yeah. I've got a 6.5 Creedmoor in Alex Pro Firearms. It's a stout gun, but it's got the Luth AR stock on it, fluted stainless steel barrel.
Anything to me to look badass.
It really does.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. No. That rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor.
Okay. You might have to be talking because I get bored. You know what I mean? I like new stuff.
Those guns have less recoil too, right?
AR platform rifles are generally going to be milder recoiling, just because there's the reciprocation of the action is soaking up some recoil.
Is there a limit in Wisconsin, like number of like magazine size for deer hunting?
There is not that I'm aware of. No.
I mean, I don't know if I'd ever need it, but
is he gonna have a drum on that thing?
I hunted last year. I hunted
just so you don't have to reload it the whole season. That way.
Right.
Last year I hunted with an AR platform. I built. I went as lightweight as I could get in a 300 blackout. On an AR platform, I carried it with a 5-round magazine. So.
Now, if you're carrying an AR platform around and you don't have like a 30-round banana magazine in there, are you frowned upon in the AR community?
No.
You don't lose your man card by carrying an AR around with a 5-round.
That maybe
will be.
That maybe took me down one step with the fact that I built it myself.
There you go.
Yeah,
right, that puts you back up. All right,
if you come to people and say, "Steve built this gun for me,"
I get my Steve card.
Yeah,
carrying my
they'll
Steve
be
card.
like, "Well, you're," but he's not.
Oh shoot!
I like that. That's a video. Let's build that gun for Brian.
Yeah, let's go.
That's a video. Let's do it right now. Stop production. We're going.
Do I just have to hit my cart button at home?
Yeah,
what was
shopping.
that? Cheaper than dirt?
Cheaper than dirt. All right. I think this is the last one we got for the catalog
Okay,
so
well,
far.
because camouflage is cool.
Let's slide this back
the
up.
Winchester.
That's a cool. What is that? That Neptune camo?
It's XPR in Cryptek.
Cryptic.
That's what I was looking for.
Cryptek.
That's a
Yeah.
cool looking gun.
It's got a flat dark earth Cerakote barreled action with the Cryptek camouflage stock. Uses a detachable box magazine, polymer like everybody else's these days.
What did you call this? Is this a Cerakote?
I don't know if it's a Cerakote,
It looks
Duracote.
like the same color on my Glock.
I don't know. It could be a proprietary finish, but it's basically it's a heat cured painted finish.
That's what the shotgun, my Winchester shotgun I bought this year. That's
I like
what,
that. That's
yeah.
that Glock I bought looks just like that. I like that gold look.
Again, we're talking about not unlike the Compass. It's got a nice heavy bolt body. It's got a 3-lug bolt, which is going to give you a little bit greater accuracy and also give you that lower 60-degree bolt throw. For somebody who likes to have the Winchester name on their guns, somebody wants the camouflage look without spending Browning kind of money on it. This gun comes in at $519.99. I've got that in stock. This is a 6.5 Creedmoor. I've got it in stock in a number of different calibers.
That's a sweet looking gun.
So this could be the gun you could shoot too.
No, he's got more money than that.
Well then, alrighty.
Let's call a spade.
Right. Hey, quick, because we're like an hour and 20 in. We got to talk about that Tacticam. That's cool.
So Steve doesn't know anything about this. Yep. He told me not to bring it in here, but I said we're gonna full send it.
I said don't ask me any questions about it.
Put that on here.
Yeah, but first of all, like we didn't want to get into optics too much further than what we did because we can go back and we had Nick Brantner, the Vortec rep, in here on episode 27. So if you have not seen that one, go ahead and find episode 27 on YouTube And we talked about Winchester, Mossberg, Vortex, and all that other cool stuff. But for this, we were pretty excited about when this was going to come. Oh, yeah, we got the rugged cases.
I know. I got this out on purpose.
Attaboy.
You'd forget otherwise.
I brought them in.
I know. You were going to forget.
Did I forget about that gun, too? No, that's the one
No,
we just talked about.
we just talked about that.
So we carry Tacticams in the store, and this is the Tacticam with the 5.0 in it. This is the FTS. What that means is it's like view through scope or something like that. I don't know. Either way, what it is that the way they have this set up is your Tacticam is recording what you see through the scope,
which is awesome.
Which is really, really cool. So there's a lot of videos on Tacticam's, social media
I'll be
pages.
getting one of those this year.
But when you look through the scope and
now it doesn't see. You can't tell when it's.
I know you can't tell at all. Like,
nice job.
That's because it's loose.
I know.
So all you got to do is hit record, which is Tacticams are really simple. Just hit the one button, touch record. It's recording, and then everything that you see through the scope, the Tacticam is recording the same thing. So
it changes magnification with your scope then, right?
It should.
I'm assuming.
I'm guessing awesome. So. Like, if you play with the magnification here, plus I think this still has the 5-power zoom to it on the Tacticam itself.
I will have one of those this year.
Yeah. So that's really cool. Like, I've seen a lot of the videos where they're shooting, like, coyotes on the run and crap like that. It looks awesome. Plus, if you don't have somebody recording your hunts, is that a bad spot? No. Then you could go ahead and play back where you shot your deer and see if you made a good shot or if you shot over the top or anything like that. So we just recently got those in. So we have those with the Tacticams available for purchase. Should be on the website soon if they're not already.
Steve?
Yeah, we'll let Steve talk about the ruggeds.
The rugged cases, this is an awesome product. I just kind of stumbled onto this, found it in a trade magazine, and contacted the manufacturer. And it's a highly water-resistant floating case. Really high-quality zippers. They've got it's nicely padded. Again, the whole thing is the exterior is going to be, for all practical purposes, waterproof. You soak this thing, you drop it in the water, let the water sit on the zippers a little bit.
Submerge well, right?
I think, even if you submerge this briefly, you may get a little bit of leakage.
No, I think right away you're fine. It's that constant water pressure. It's not.
Well, it's just like a lot of the high-end clothing. They have the taped, zippers and everything on that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the name says it all. They are rugged. They put I like this. They didn't incorporate a fixed size pouch on the outside. They put some webbing in here, stitched in a couple places so there's room. You want to put a duck call, you want to put a magazine in there.
Yep.
They've got the same thing on their long gun cases. Probably going to want to put a duck call on your pistol case, but hey,
you never know.
You never know.
Maybe
for that guy that's shooting 50 yards in the handgun.
Somebody who
in the air.
This would also be fine for somebody who's got some other equipment, maybe some electronics they want to carry with them when they're out.
Yeah. Also, like an iPad case, that kind of thing.
You're out on the water. You don't have to worry about basically falling overboard and losing it completely because, again, this thing will float. Everything about it, it's a simple design, but it's extremely well executed. Zipper pouch on the outside. Again, water resistant, a great place to keep your cell phone when you're out on the boat.
Yep. And we carry these for archery cases as well.
We do.
I'm out of stock on them right now, but we do carry a bow case as well.
Out there. That guy's crazy.
Yeah, he's selling a bunch. That's why catalogs are getting sent.
We carry this in a couple different size pistol cases. We have a tactical rifle case, hunting rifle case.
Did you mention that these are Wisconsin?
It is a Wisconsin-based company. Yep. And, again, the long gun case also has strapping on it for putting on an ATV, UTV.
Yep.
On the larger cases, these are completely removable. So if it does get wet, you take the padded liner right out of there, put it out in the sun to dry everything out,
awesome.
Clean it, easy to clean.
They're lightweight, too. I like how lightweight
they are. Very, very lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
This is an awesome choice for somebody who wants the additional protection you get from a hard case without the bulk.
Yep.
And
that's exactly what I was thinking.
And there's the noise factor. You open that truck door in the morning, and you bang that hard case into things. This is going to be quieter. It's going to take up less space, but it's going to give you a level of protection above your average soft case.
So when Megan and I were discussing what case to put in the catalog, obviously for us being exclusive was a no-brainer for it, but there's been times where since I mostly bow hunt, if I do gun hunt, I'll hunt out of my hang-on stands. So I would actually take my case to the base of the woods with me, or to the base of the tree, and this is going to be a lot nicer to pull up and down, than all of a sudden having a hard case, like you said, that could hit off with something, make a little bit extra noise. Plus, if it's waterproof and all that kind of stuff. So
Do they make a smaller version than this?
Yes.
We do. We have a smaller pistol case as well.
Yep.
Nice.
And then last but not least, we always carry a good complement of Caldwell shooting supplies here as well. So, from the lead sled to the field pod and all that kind of stuff for crossbows and vertical, or for handguns and stuff like that. So I love shooting off that field pod.
Yeah.
For sighting
The
in my
crossbows and
guns.
stuff?
Yeah, that thing is awesome. So if you're looking for something and you're in the market to sight your gun in, or just having a bench, since we do carry the Red X blinds now, if you're looking for something like that to go on the window, we got a good selection of the Caldwell stuff as well. So, Steve, anything else that we covered the whole gun catalog portion of it all?
We did. One thing that came on the market. I shouldn't say it didn't come on the market, but came to our attention significantly after we kind of put the catalog to bed, is a new round from Winchester this year called the 350 Legend. Now, the main purpose for this new round, it's a straight-walled 36 caliber round.
Is that the one Mark was talking about?
The one Mark bought.
That's got a YouTube. Do you want to share that one too with them, Zach? That YouTube video
Which one?
for the 350.
Oh, the one that we did?
Yeah.
Yep.
The primary benefit of this round is it can be used in a lot of states where they're primarily a shotgun-only state, but they have passed laws that allow the use of rifles that use a straight wall, basically like a pistol case, 45-70, something that's going to be a little bit lower velocity than the 30-06, 270, and so on. So they have a little bit more control over the overall effective range of the round. For safety purposes, for deer management purposes, whatever. The 350 Legend came out. It's throwing a 180 grain bullet at around 2,100 feet per second, 2,200, something like that. It's legal in those states. And oh, by the way, this thing is supposed to be just remarkably light recoiling. They're talking about a 150 grain bullet at 2,500 feet per second, and having lighter recoil than the 243.
Whoa.
This gun's also available in AR platforms. I don't have any of those yet, but the Ruger American in a compact. It's not actually a compact size stock. It's an adult size stock, but it's what they call their ranch rifle. It's got
tiny,
a shorter
dude.
barrel. They are just incredibly compact little rifles. Mark wanted one of those to take on his Iowa hunt this year.
Yeah.
We put that Crossfire in a 2-7, nice little compact 2-7 power scope on there, and I cannot wait to shoot this rifle. We've got ammunition in stock, 170 grain soft point from Hornady, 180 grain soft point from Winchester. There's a Winchester also loads a 145 grain full metal jacket. Now, why would you want that? Simple. It's cheap to shoot. $10.49 for 20 rounds of this stuff. It's almost as cheap to shoot as an AR. So a person can go out and practice with the gun, have a lot of fun with it. And also, there's been a hard to get round 150 grain soft point on the deer season XP. I finally got a hold of some of those. It should be coming in later this week. I got 10 boxes of that stuff coming in. That is an exciting round for somebody who wants to hunt heavy cover, wants to hunt marsh, wants a nice, snappy, light handling little rifle, and it's going to have a maximum effective range, I'd say about 250 yards.
Jeez.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Mark was super stoked when we got those guns in.
I think he bought one in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
He did.
Up,
Yeah.
Well, like Steve was saying, for those states like Iowa and Illinois, I still believe are shotgun only or a muzzleloader.
There's 3-4 states.
That
was the intended target for this. But for people who hunt those states, want to hunt those states, or like I said, just like me, if I didn't already have God knows how many guns that would suffice under those circumstances, hunting marsh, hunting heavy cover, I couldn't possibly shoot more than 150 yards where I hunt. And that would be like one tiny spot.
Right.
It's a great gun for that.
So with you saying that though, we buy, and when you first got in, you said we buy and sell in all the used stuff. Do you can you go over what we have in stock right now? I know we share it to Facebook and it's up there, and a lot of the guns are selling fast. But is there one up there? What's the handgun you just took in? You sent me a handgun.
I just took in a Smith & Wesson SW9 VE. It's the previous. They're currently making the SD9 VE. This was the previous version. Gun is in practically mint condition. The spare mag, I think I got that gun priced at $279, $240.
That post will go out at 5 o'clock today.
$249.99.
Yeah,
I got in a banquet gun. In case everybody doesn't know, the banquet gun, basically somebody won it and has never used it.
Yep.
Henry lever action 22. I got that gun priced ridiculously cheap. I want to say $250, and it's never been fired. It's still got the factory hang tags on
That'd
it.
be kind of a cool gun. Lever action 22.
Yeah.
I took in a rifle on trade this morning, a Remington 760 Game Master, probably 30, 40 years old, at least 30 years old, in really nice used condition. You know, tell somebody took care of their gun but hunted with it enough that it's showing a little bit of wear on it.
Yep.
I got that gun priced at $279.99 for a pump 30-06.
And we'll get that one to social media here probably for tomorrow or something once we get the pictures.
So, yeah, a lot of stuff out there. We still got that Ruger bolt action 44 Magnum carbine that I'm surprised that has lasted as long as it has. Got a Winchester Angle Eject Model 94 from the early 80s in immaculate condition. What do I got that gun priced at? $399? I think $399.
Yeah, I can't remember it. You'd have
Sounds
to.
good to me.
They'd have to go to our Facebook page, but we're working on getting it so we're upgrading the website. So eventually, all those guns can be found on the website. But for right now, they have to be on Facebook just in order. It's the easy way. So you have to comb through our post, and you'll find them on there. But yeah, there's a lot of good quality guns in there. And we got to wrap this one up, but like. The process, if somebody's interested in bringing a gun into the Real Shot to have you evaluate it, what does that look like? Just simply bring it on in?
Yep. Make sure it's unloaded. We appreciate if it's in a carrying case of some sort. Bring it to the gun counter. Leave it in the case until we have a chance to open it up and verify that it's unloaded for everybody's safety.
Yep.
I am very upfront about talking to people about the value of their firearm. I show you how I have arrived at what we would sell it for. I tell you what we would sell it for, and then we're going to offer you about 2/3 of that.
Okay. Perfect. So, again, a real good time to get that in here.
Absolutely.
Get it looked at, appraised. If you're thinking about selling it. I mean, we do that all the time with the vertical bows, the fishing stuff. We're not liars. You're going to get probably a little bit more to sell it outright, but the thing about it is you got to go through all the headaches of doing it.
Yep.
And it happens one or two times. We'll make an offer, the fair and honest truth offer, and people are like, I'll see what I'll get. Usually another week doesn't go by, and
That's
they're
no different than anything, though. I mean,
they're back in here, and they're like, you know what?
Right, you can sell your car for more outright versus
Right.
trading it in. It's just the way it
But
works.
it's just bring it on in here.
Do you want to hassle with 45? I mean, look at like Lance trying to sell his kayak on Facebook. He's about ready to jump.
Right.
And I don't think of myself as an alarmist. I don't want to overemphasize this, but we're in a litigious society, and
what?
Yeah, seriously.
litigation.
What was the word you used?
Litigious.
Litigious?
What was your big word?
Google it.
I believe you. I've never heard that one
What was
before.
your
Okay, do you want
I
to
don't
get
even
sued
remember.
because in good faith you sold your gun to somebody and they used it to do something
Right.
wrong? Okay, gun dealers have a little bit of protection in that regard because we are running background checks. If you want to sell your gun outright, by all means, you legally can. I recommend that unless you are intimately familiar with the person you're selling it to, that you say, hey, let's go down to the Real Shot and we can run we can do a private party transfer for you. I think our charge on that is $25, $30.
Yep.
And you split the cost, do whatever you want to, but that way we're actually running a background check on the individual you're selling the gun to, and you're going to have your butt covered in case they do something weird with it.
And if the guy you're selling to says very hard that he will not do that, you
Yeah.
probably
Red
shouldn't
flag.
sell it to him.
Well, that's something else I've always recommended to people. If you're doing a private party transfer and you're not going to go through a background check process, real simple, tell the guy you're selling it to, I'm going to need to see your driver's license, and I'm going to copy down all the information on it. And if they say no, you do not want to sell that individual your firearm. They're basically saying, no, if I do something weird with this thing, I'm going to leave you hanging with it, not me.
Yep, for sure.
Wow. Cool. Well, again, thanks, Steve. I know we got to get you back out to the floor to continue to help all the customers with the gun questions. So thanks for making the time today. We are probably going to do just not a TRS Live, but just Facebook Live tomorrow. The gentleman from Redx just dropped off some blinds. He's bringing our display model by tomorrow, so we'll probably pop on Facebook, something like that later on and tomorrow and do that. So thanks a lot, Steve. Thanks for everybody that tuned in.
My pleasure.
And we'll be back next week with another TRS Live. Have a great rest of your day.